Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you 4 quick and easy Valentine home decor pieces that you can leave up year round that will look great with your decor. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thanks for watching. Love you guys.
Okay, for this one, we're taking 4 of the Dollar Tree love signs, remove all the hardware and the straps. Then we're going to start staining it. And I'm going to stain the 2 of these with a special walnut, and I'm going to stain 2 of these with a dark walnut. So go ahead and get a complete 2 of them stained with the special walnut and do all the inside pieces and the trim on all 4 of them with the special walnut. Then come back and just do the outside edge of with the dark walnut for 2 of these. Next, I'm going to take some black paint and I'm just going to paint the insides on all of these, just the back part. Then I'm just going to start assembling them, and I'm going to alternate a dark one with a light one and go all the way around. And this is how this is going to actually attach together. And we're going to use wood glue to put this together. If you don't have wood glue and clamps, you might want to use E6000 glue and hot glue together. But that's how it's going to assemble. So we're going to start with 2 pieces. We're going to do 2 at a time, and just going to put it on the edges that meet up with the other one. And then we're going to clamp it together, and we're going to do 2 and 2, and then we're going to clamp both big 2 pieces together with 1. And just go ahead and clamp it, and just kind of clamp it tight. And you want to make sure that you remove any of the excess glue that's oozing off before it dries. Just make sure you get it lined up good, and then remove the excess glue. Then we're going to go ahead and attach the second 2 together, same way. And you want to make sure that all your L's line up. So you want to make sure that when you stand it up, all the L's are going to be facing at the top. And be sure and use plenty of glue to make this go together, but not so much that it just oozes out everywhere. And then go ahead and clamp it. And then when these 2 dry, then we're going to go ahead and assemble all 4 pieces together. But just kind of clamp it as tight as you can. And then let that dry. Now they're dry, we're going to go ahead and assemble them together, and you're going to glue both sides together. Now I didn't show you, I put glue on one side, but you're going to attach both ends of this at exactly the same time. Otherwise you will not get it together, because once you glue this part and you try to glue the other side, you won't get it spread apart enough to get your glue in there. So make sure that you go ahead and put glue on both sides and attach both of these pieces at one time. So you're going to attach that side, and then you're going to attach the opposite side as well. And then then we're going to just set this aside and let it dry. And let it dry really well. But go ahead and use your clamps to tighten up as much as you can, because these do bow a little bit, but you will be able to get these tight. I'm going to take some cardstock, and I'm just going to roll it on a piece of wood to kind of break up the fibers to make it round. And I'm just going to stick it down into a cylinder vase. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue just the top part of these papers together, but I'm not going to glue them in. And I got my vase at Dollar Tree. Next, I'm just going to attach these skeleton keys right straight through the heart on these, and I'm going to do one for all 4 sides. And I'm just attaching those with a little brad that I got at Lowe's. But you want to make sure that you hold the backing while you're hammering it, because you don't want your piece to break apart. And just hammer it until that skeleton key kind of stays in place by itself. And then just do all the other 3 exactly like it. And you can get these skeleton keys at Hobby Lobby or Amazon. I've just had mine for a while. Okay, next, just go ahead and put some styrofoam down in your vase, and we're just going to start attaching our greenery. Now, I bought this boxwood greenery on Amazon. You get quite a few of them in a pack, and I'll give you the link for those in the description below as well. Just push it down in there where you don't see the stem. And then we're going to come back in with some reindeer moss to finish out the top so you don't see the black part on top. And I got that reindeer moss at Michael's. This was a pretty quick and easy project. Just go ahead and put your vase right down in the center. And that was it. This one turned out so cute. I think I'm going to leave this up year round. It doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day. I'm taking 4 of the 4x6 pallets from Dollar Tree. I'm running a piece of tape straight across the middle. Make sure that they line up when you put your tape across, because we're going to two-tone these, and you want to make sure they are, when you put these together, they are exactly in the same place. And then just go ahead and cut apart your tape. And then you want to go ahead and put the tape around the edges, and you want to go around the back as well. So go ahead and tape the same piece of tape, just like the one on the front, onto the back. And then we're going to start staining it. Now I am going to stain half of mine with a dark walnut, and then the other half I'm going to paint. So go ahead and make sure you get it down into the middle and kind of come off of that tape instead of trying to run up to the tape so you don't get any stain underneath it. And then go ahead and stain the center and the backing on all of them. And then next I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my tape off, and then I'm going to take over the stained part up to where the raw edge is, and then I'm going to paint this part with a cottage white chalk paint that I got at Hobby Lobby. Just make sure that they all line up good before you start painting them. And then you want to make sure on this one too that you paint the front and the back as well, because you will see it once you get it all put together. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and take all my tape off, and then I'm going to start assembling them. Okay, I'm going to assemble these with E6000 glue and hot glue together, and that's how I'm going to attach them, just like that. You could use wood glue, but I don't think you have enough meat on there to hold it together completely, so do use the E6000 glue with the hot glue. And we're going to do that for all 4 sides. And we're just going to connect them right at the corners. And just kind of make sure that they're pretty straight. And you'll have a little bit of time to get all this straight before it completely dries too. Just really try to work on making it square. And you can do this in any color you want to. I think the two-tone really made this look good. So I took an old Dollar Tree sign that I had and I cut it to the size of the base. And then I'm going to paint it white, and I'm going to glue this on here in just a little bit. Just want to make sure you paint it white so that everything does blend together. Next, I got this little embellishment over at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to take the glitter heart off the front of it. I'm just going to heat it up with an embossing gun. I'm going to pry it off with a screwdriver, and then I'm going to come back in and put another heart on there that I got at Dollar Tree in place of that one, just so it had all the black and white kind of blend together. Okay, next I'm just going to take some E6000 glue and some hot glue, and I'm going to attach my vase to my base. And just when you get it on there, just make sure you got it square. Next, I'm just going to take about 1.5 inch wide ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it all the way around just to kind of tie all this together, just to kind of cover up the 2 divisions there. Just kind of make sure you do have it straight, and then go ahead and cut off the excess. Then we're going to fold the flap over on the back just so we have a nice finished edge, and then just go ahead and glue that down. Okay, next I'm just going to take some jute. I'm just going to wrap it around the front. Hold a little piece in the front so you have enough to tie a bow at the end. But just wrap it around several times. And then we're going to tie it off in a knot first. And then we're going to add a little heart here as well, just a little black heart. And we're just going to tie that off in a bow. And then I'm just adding a plant that I already had at my house inside, and then I'm just going to stick that other heart right down in the center of it. I love how this turned out. Let me know in the comments which one of these is your favorite today. So I'm using these 3-inch Jenga blocks I got at Five Below. I'm taking 15 of them. I'm putting them down on the bottom part of my ruler, and every other one I am going to lift 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to glue these together with E6000 glue and hot glue. I'm not going to use wood glue on these. This worked out pretty good for this project. And I'm just going to use a little popsicle stick to attach the 2 together. And then just get them all glued together, and then we're going to paint them. I'm painting them with a cottage white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint every bit of these, the back, the bottom, the sides, the top, all of it. Okay, next I'm taking a label maker, and I'm going to put PS ... I love you. Now this is a new label maker that kind of looks like the old vintage label makers that had the black labels with the white punch out on them. And you can put whatever you want to. I just really wanted to give this kind of a vintage look for it. Okay, next I'm going to start assembling it. And I took these little hearts at the Bullseye section at Target. They were $3 for the pack. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my little sign down at the end. And I'm going to use E6000 glue as well as hot glue to attach these hearts. And just kind of get them spaced out however you want to. Okay, and then for my little tag, I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 glue on there, even though it already has an adhesive on it, just to make sure it stays. All right, pretty minimalistic. It's you could use this year round. Turned out super cute. I was happy with this one. Next, I'm taking 3 15-ounce cans, and I'm taking some cardstock, and I'm going to run it through my crimper. I'm just going to give this a vintage look on these cans to make it look like they're a little bit more worn out. Just make sure that you run your paper through there straight, because otherwise if you get off a little bit, it will come out at a diagonal. Just make sure it still fits your can, and then we're going to paint it with a silver metallic paint. Okay, next I'm going to come back in with some black paint, and I'm just going to run it down the middle a little bit to make it look like it's a little bit more worn. And if you get too much black on here, go ahead and add some more silver on and just go ahead and blend it back in. Exactly like you want it. We're going to go ahead and wrap the can with it. Just going to put a bead of hot glue down one side. And then we're going to go ahead and stretch it around just to make sure that you get it straight all the way to the other side, and then just glue that down as well. And do the same thing for the other 3. Then we're just going to wrap some jute around it. So just pull your jute around so you have enough to tie off once you get it done. And then we're just going to tie this off in a bow. Next, I'm going to take a 24-inch 1x6, and I'm going to stain it with some Minwax weathered gray paint. Now you could paint it as many times as you want till you get the color that you want. I want mine to be pretty gray. Okay, now that I've let that dry, I'm going to come back in with some white chalk paint and some gray chalk paint, and I'm going to distress my piece of wood. It was just a little bit too gray for me, so I wanted to come back in and add a little bit more color, and that's what I did on this. Okay, next I'm going to take my 3 cans, and I'm going to evenly space them on my board. I'm going to start with my bottom one and leave it closer to the bottom. And then I'm going to measure between the bottom one and the top one to make sure that the center one has the exact same amount of space between the two. Otherwise, you will notice it when you hang this up. Then I'm just going to put a mark on the bottom of each one of my cans so I know where that one's going to end. That way when I drill my holes through my can, I know exactly where I need to mount them. Okay, next I'm going to come down 1.5 inches on the back, and I'm going to make a mark, and that's where I'm going to drill my hole through my can. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and drill my hole, and I'm using like a number 8 bit because I'm going to use a number 8 screw to go through these. But just know what size screw you're going to use so that you get the right bit to drill your hole. And then go ahead and do the same thing for the other 2. Okay, next I'm going to take my board and I'm going to attach a piece of thick jute to it with some staples, and this is what's going to hang my board onto the wall. Now you don't need a lot of weight on this because it's not going to be real heavy. I'm going to lay my cans on my board and I'm going to line them up with the line I drew before, and I'm going to come inside the can and mark exactly where that hole is so I know exactly where I'm going to be drilling my hole through my board. And do that with all 3 of your cans. And then when you get done marking those, just make sure with a ruler that you are at a center point on those. And then go ahead and drill your holes. Now you probably want to waller out a little bit when you get it through the hole. I'm just going to make a mark on here right now. And then I'm going to come back in with something over the top to set it on top of to drill my holes through. And then I am going to kind of just move my drill bit around a little bit to make my hole just a little bit bigger. Okay, next I'm going to take my screws and I'm going to go ahead and screw them through the back. And go ahead and screw them till they come out of the front a little bit so you can line your can up with them. Okay, and then go ahead and lay your can right on top of that screw, and then go ahead and screw that on in. And then we're going to put a washer and a nut on it to hold it in place, and it will tighten up. So put your washer first, then your nut. And then just hold the nut in place while you're screwing into the back, and it will tighten up. And then just kind of line it up. And then do the same thing for the other 2. Okay, next I'm going to take 3 hearts. I'm just going to paint them with white paint, cottage white paint. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take some styrofoam to put inside of my cans, and I'm just going to use some pieces that I have that are random pieces, and I'm going to glue a few together because I'm just trying to use up some of the ones that I have. I don't want to waste a brand new sheet, so I'm going to go ahead and glue 2 pieces together to make 1 piece. And then I'm just going to glue the bottom of them, and I'm just going to go ahead and put them all the way down into the bottom of my cans. And you can do that on all 3 of them. It's a good way just to use up some extra little pieces. Next, I'm just going to take some little greenery I got in the wedding section at Hobby Lobby. They're little bundles. And I'm just going to go ahead and bend the little end of them over, and I'm just going to push those down into my styrofoam. And I got these on sale. They were like 40% off. They were originally $2.99. I got them for 40% off. And just do it to all 3 of them. And then we're going to come back in with some of that same reindeer moss and just kind of fill in the excess area that's open with this moss. Then I'm going to go ahead and take a heart that I painted, and I'm going to take one of these little skeleton keys and I'm going to attach it to each one of my cans. Just kind of tie it around where that bow area is, and then go ahead and tie that off in a knot. And then cut off any excess, and do the same thing for the other 2. And you can put whatever color flowers in here, or you want to use a different kind of plant. You can use this year round and just change it out with the themes. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed the video. Remember, Thursdays are the days that I do the home decor. If you like this kind of video, be sure to give me a like. If you want to see future videos, be sure and subscribe. If you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.